But these young people behind me have something else in their head and in their heart. They have a commitment in their head to the principles of our democracy, equal protection under the law. And in their heart, they have a faith that they are not going to be turned around. But the second reason why this day is so powerful, just a few minutes ago, I think on WRL, our own governor came out with a statement where he basically said he was not going to talk to anybody about 70,000 people of the 170,000 losing their unemployment on Monday. He has the power in his pen to say to Tillis and Bergen, his legislature, I'm not going to sign any voter suppression laws. He's got the power in his pen to say that I'm going to restore unemployment, not hurt North Carolinians, but instead, he's saying he's not going to talk to politicians. But what's more serious and sad about that is he's not talked to the unemployed. He can't look them in the eye and say it's a moral thing, it's a good thing for them to lose their 70,000 people to lose their unemployment. He said in that article that he was cutting off the credit card. He was going to stop people from living on the government. Well, people who lost their job of no fault of their own are not lazy. They are not mere creditors, and they're not living off the government.
All right.
They are enjoying by having unemployment insurance, what the Constitution in North Carolina provides them for, the enjoyment of the fruit of their own labor. They're trying to survive from day to day. And how arrogant and mean-spirited it is. He first described cutting unemployment as a necessary evil. He cuts people, hardworking, everyday people's unemployment, but raises the salary of his own appointees. And now he says that he won't even talk, even though we're getting closer and closer and closer to the day that families, black and white and Latino and Native American throughout this state won't know after Tuesday how they're going to make it. And that's why these young people are saying, can't turn back. We've got to stand up. And in the tradition of young people who have changed the country and changed history so many more times, I'm proud now to step back from this mic and let them step up and take their place in the great history of fighting for freedom and justice.
Forward together!
Not one step back!
Louder together!
Not one step back!
Forward together!
Not one step back!
Forward together!
Not one step back!
Forward together!
Not one step back!
Our vote has got to go!
Yes, we're here to present Governor McCrory with some more demands and as well as pick up the ones that we requested from last week.
Let me go back and check with this administrator and see if that will get that. All right, one moment.
I'm Lisa Fraser. Hey, Rob.
This is Todd.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. Thank you for being here.
Backing up with the constitutional and the moral backing that we feel these demands happen and demand that the governor take that action to sign these pledges.
Okay, so I'm happy to take all of those things and see that they get.
Well, we want to be able to go inside like we did last time since this is an open building for the
Well,
public.
right now it's not. They're coming in place outside.
So he is in there signing those. So we would just like to get as close as we can
Well,
to
this
him.
is it.
This is it.
Somebody just came out. We
So see people go in and out.
It doesn't say close.
Sure, if y'all want to log in and look,
They wanna
that's
go.
fine.
Okay. So they don't want us to go one by one inside?
Oh, you can't.
Well,
I mean, sign in one of them. Right, they just did that. Where's that rule at? Where's the rule? We'd like to see the written rule, because we've never had to sign in before to come in. And this is a public building. This is a public, open building. It's a state property, and these young people have a right to be here. And we've never had to sign in before, nor so there can't be a change in rule. We like to see the written rule. We see people come in all the time.
So everybody, the governor is here. He had a bill signing. That's why they told us we had to go through security today. There's a special bill signing today, so he is here, and they're asking if he'll come out and talk to us.
The citizens of North Carolina.
Yes.
So that we could remind him of the oath that he took to get into this office and the constitutionality of the issues that we are asking that he repeal and reverse his decisions on.
Sir, somebody will be out to speak with me. Just a few minutes.
We would like the governor of our state. It's the governor of North Carolina here.
There will be somebody to speak with me.
Why can the governor of North Carolina, he can meet with lobbyists, he can meet with all who are outsiders, but he cannot meet with the constituents of North Carolina.
On unemployment, it says here, I, Pat McCrory, Governor of the state of North Carolina, in the presence of North Carolina citizens, and in the spirit of this state continues commitment in the expansion of freedom and justice toward all North Carolinians. Whereas North Carolina currently has the #1 highest unemployment rate in the country, do pledge to accept 100% participation of the 100% federally funded emergency unemployment compensation. He has the power to keep over 70,000 citizens of the state of North Carolina from losing their unemployment benefits by giving an extension from July into January, which would not increase the state's debt any higher.
Article 5, Section 2 says that the power of taxation shall be exercised in a just and equitable manner for public purposes only. Article 11, Section 4, beneficent provision for the poor, the unfortunate, and the orphan is one of the first duties of a civilized and a Christian state. Therefore, the General Assembly shall provide for and define the duties of a board of public welfare.
1, Section 15, the people have a right to the privilege of education and it is the duty of the state to guard and maintain that.
So, excuse me, folks. The building is closed. If you'd like to leave, your letters up here, the staff will take them, but we are closed, and we're going to have to ask you to leave at this time, okay? Thank you.
What do you want? Justice. When do you want it? Now. What do you want? Justice. When do you want it? Now. Forward together.
Not one step back.
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 Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what hypocrisy looks like.
That is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what hypocrisy looks like.
That is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what hypocrisy looks like.
That is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
What do you want? Justice. When do you want it?
Now.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Turn me around. Turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom way. So we in our moral conscience cannot leave today that in 4 days, 70,000 North Carolinians will be losing their unemployment checks. There will have to be conversations among families about whether to have food that week, whether to have meat that week, whether to have new clothes for next school. We cannot in our own good conscience leave right now when this governor of North Carolina and this General Assembly has the opportunity to change his decisions and give those struggling families the people that he swore upon the Bible and the Constitution to protect. We can't leave right now when he has the power in his pen right now to make that decision for those 70,000 families and those 500,000 North Carolinians who are going to lose Medicaid. He's going to kill thousands of people each year with his decision to not expand Medicaid.
I just want to say the reason that I'm standing here today is because just last week I was in the home of an elderly African-American woman in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, who was shaking her head. She's fought her lifetime for justice, for voting rights, for education rights, for health care rights, for all of North Carolinians, white, black, rich, poor, across the board. And she was sitting there shaking her head saying, everything I've worked my life for, everything we have fought for is being torn down in a matter of months. Everything. And she said, I just can't stand here and watch this happen. And so I am here today because she can't make it here today. And because I really do believe, I'm not against any of the folks here. We're not against the governor. We really believe that he can do the right thing. We believe that he does. He has sworn on the Bible, which also says that we will care for the oppressed, and we will feed the hungry, and that we will heal the sick, and that we will visit those in prison. All of these cuts will be things that we're paying for years down the line.
In our good conscience, we cannot leave until we have his. We cannot leave. We cannot, in good conscience, leave when the governor's doing what he wants to do.
Judge asked that.
I'm here in the memory of every person that sacrificed any blood, sweat, time in a movement that's seen in the last 72 to 48 hours a broad striking blow to every piece of legislation and every piece of momentum that's ever been gained for the rights of all people, been struck down, not just nationally, but right here, locally, statewide in the state of North Carolina. 70,000 families will lose their unemployment, and that's very real. People won't be able to eat. People won't be able to sleep comfortably at night. The very thing that we have a right to do, our inalienable rights, they will not be able to do comfortably. So we cannot leave this building in good faith while the governor sits back here with the ability, with the stroke of his pen, to save some of these families from being kicked out on the street, from not being able to pay for the prescription medicines that their unemployment benefits are paying for. So we will not leave this building until the governor does that.
The governor has 12 pieces of commitments for him to sign. Currently, they have been presented twice now. First by a group of young people representing Section 12 of the North Carolina Constitution, which allows us to do what we're doing right now, which is to instruct our legislators for redressing grievances. In fact, the Constitution requires us as citizens to do what we're doing right now, which is to petition him to come and tell him what's best for North Carolina, because apparently he has forgotten. And he does have an opportunity, and we, as a person of faith, I believe in what the old sage told Esther in the Old Testament, which was, just maybe you were made for a time just like this. You were made for a time just as this, to change course, to join with the Republican governors across the country who have decided that Medicaid expansion makes sense, that they can't, like Scott, that they can't, in their own conscience, deny tens of millions of dollars to their own citizens. It makes no economic sense, it makes no moral sense, and it makes no constitutional sense. North Carolina is going to become the first, again, we're first in flight, but we're also about to become first in denying federal funds for unemployment, the EUC. No other state in the entire nation has done this so far. We, based on purely ideological reasons, because we have people like our Pope and others who have bought this election, who have bought this state house, which we're taking back now because this is the people's house. The only reason that we're making such irrational, ideologically based decisions, which are to deny 70,000 people in July 1st, which, by the way, is where we're going to bring back people on July 1st, tomorrow Monday, to talk about jobs and voting rights. Because on July 1st is when the pain begins.
We were told that we had a choice whether we wanted a citation or second-degree trespassing. We said we're going to stay here until you make us leave. And we were handcuffed and brought up here. We continued to just say that we're here for the people of North Carolina, and we had to stand up because we believe the governor can still he still has a choice, and he can still make a difference. And we believe that he can do that, and he, deep in his heart, has the power to do that and the right to do that. And so we were standing here hoping that he will hear that call, and that he will see that call from each of us, but from a much broader swath of people all across the state who continue to stand up for these rights.